Hey, Bucs fans, welcome to a reaction video here on the Pewter Report YouTube video. Hope you like it. It's going to be short, it's going to be quick, to the point. Make sure you hit that thumbs up, like, subscribe to Pewter Report TV because we got all sorts of information coming your way in video format. But for today, we just found out in the last couple of hours that Myles Garrett, the all-world edge defender for the Cleveland Browns, has decided he doesn't want to be a part of a rebuild. He doesn't see a path forward with the Browns that's going to allow him to compete for a Super Bowl. And so he wants out. He has formally requested a trade. He wants to be traded to a team that can compete for a Super Bowl. So you're looking at contenders, playoff teams, and guess who you know and love who is a contending playoff team? That's right, the Tampa Bay Bucs. And the Bucs could use a premier edge talent like Myles Garrett. He could be transformative. Think about a pass rush of Myles Garrett, Yaya Diaby, Vita Vea, Kalijah Cansey. Now you're talking about one of the best pass rushes in the NFL. Todd Bowles no longer has to blitz out of necessity. He can blitz just to be creative, but still rely on getting home with four. That means he's asking less of his linebackers, less of his cornerbacks, less of his safeties, less of the back seven. It's not too far to say that Myles Garrett could turn the Bucs defense by himself into quite the formidable group. And that's without even addressing some of the other needs that kind of showed up in 2024 for the Bucs. So no pretty colors on today's graph. We're going to get right to it. What would it cost the Bucs? Well, let's talk about Garrett's on-field value. Based on the system that myself and my business partner have created, his on-field value really is around $34 million a year. He's under contract for 2 more years. That's $68 million worth of value. You see it right here in this cell. He's on a below market deal. The Browns only owe him a little less than $45 million in cash over that 2-year period. So if you take his $68 million in value, subtract what they owe him, there's what we call a surplus value of $23.2 million. And the Browns are going to want to try and extract not just his on-field value, but that surplus value as well, meaning that they're going to try and get about $91.2 million worth of value out of a potential trade with another team. So what does $91.2 million worth of value look like in terms of draft picks? Well, I've done extensive research on this, trying to bridge the gap between how we value players in dollars and how we value draft picks, which traditionally most of the charts that you see out there value draft picks in points. I've done some research, put a lot of time and energy into this. I've come up with a valuation system for draft picks in dollars. Let's talk a little bit about how it relates to the Bucs draft picks. And we'll start with pick 19. That's what the Bucs have for the first round pick in the 2025 NFL draft. Based on my research, it's worth just a little under $57 million. Well, if Garrett's worth 91.2 and that draft pick alone is worth 57, you've still got a little over $34.25 million worth of difference that the Browns are absolutely going to want to extract out of this deal. If they go for this, that means they're acknowledging they're going into full-blown rebuild mode. So the Bucs only have 6 draft picks in the 2025 NFL draft. I doubt they want to give up more than one, even for Myles Garrett. So then you're looking at future draft picks. Most teams value future draft picks on a 1-round sliding scale. So a 2026 first round pick, they value it the same as a 2025 second round pick. A 2026 second round pick, they value like a 2025 third round pick, so on and so forth. So if we were to look at the 2026 first round pick that the Bucs have, and let's say the Bucs and the Browns agree, if we do this trade, there's no way the Bucs are picking any higher than 19th. Okay? And there's a legitimate chance that they could win the Super Bowl and pick 32nd. Let's look at what those two picks are worth. So, sliding scale with 2025 values, pick 19 in 2026 would be the equivalent of pick 51 in 2025. That's worth $36.3 million. Pick 32 in the 2026 draft would be worth equivalent to pick 64 in this year's draft. That's worth $31.57 million. When you add each of those to the pick 19, which has a finite value, you get Total value of, and I really should put this over here. We'll just do it real quick. Total value is a range of between 88 and a half and 93 and a quarter million dollars. Well, Garrett's value falls basically in between that range. So now you're talking about fair value. So that's what it's probably going to take if the Bucs want to acquire Garrett. 2025 first rounder, 2026 first rounder. It's a large toll to pay, but he's a transformative player. He's worth it. But it just doesn't stop there. Garrett's 30 years old, and while he does want to play for championships, there's a good chance he wants one more bite at the apple in terms of a big contract. And he would have the leverage to do that with the Bucs. We saw what happened last year with Hassan Reddick wanting an extension as a part of a trade from the Eagles to the Jets. Jets didn't give it to him. It blew up in everybody's faces. I'm sure that Garrett's going to make it very well known if he does want an extension because he is underpaid, that's going to be a contention of the deal. And how much could Myles Garrett get? Well, I said his on-field value is about $34 million a year, and that's really the floor. Depending on when this trade were to happen, as it relates to the contract negotiations with Micah Parsons and the Cowboys, the contract negotiations between Jamar Chase and the Bengals, those two plus Garrett would all be vying for the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL. And if Garrett gets this done, if this happens after those two contract negotiations, there is a world where he could get $40 million a year on, say, a 3-year extension. I've got a Pewter Report post coming up on our website where you can see exactly what that looks like. But a 3-year extension, $40 million a year, his year one cap hit would only be about $16 million. But the Bucs are probably going to have to commit to like over $90 million guaranteed. It's going to cost a lot. I still think Myles Garrett's worth it. If this is what it costs, 2 first-round picks, a 3-year, $120 million extension, I say do it. I'm interested to find out if you think that that's too much, or if you're with me and you say this is the all-in move that Jason Light, Mike Greenberg, and the Bucs should make. So for Pewter Report, I'm Josh Queipo. Here's your reaction video to Myles Garrett. Hope you enjoy it.